Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
See, I don't know about y'all, but like for real, I don't mind being talked about. My problem come in when they start making stuff up. So you can talk about me all you want. It is what it is. You know, it's either I did it or I didn't. I said it or I didn't. Whatever the case is, I don't care. I let whoever think whatever, feel whatever. That's on them. You know what I'm saying? But it's the making up part. It's the lying part. It's the adding on to part that always get me. I don't mind being talked about. It's when y'all start lying that bothers me.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, happy Friday, TGIF. The day is not over. It is just beginning, but thank God, right? Thank God we have, I'm exhausted. I have to be honest with you. I've been running, but I'm up and it's good morning. It's happy Friday. We can't stay too long. I have an event this morning at 9 a.m. I have an event Today, I am going to be standing at the door handing out my flyers. I'm going to do it. So yesterday, I didn't realize, excuse me, how much I was going to be in different areas doing different things. And so I didn't get as many things out as I'd like to, but I did get an opportunity to talk to a lot of people. So that was really good and really powerful. So very thankful for all of that. So guys, we've been doing good. It's been very exhausting, as you guys can imagine. This is a work trip for me. And I'm just doing everything I can. But anyways, good morning. I don't know what's going on with my voice this morning, so please bear with me. Good morning, Melissa. It's nice to see you. Kathy, Z.A., AJ, Karen Davis. Good morning, Karen. Nice to see you. Nana of 12. Tammy, Brandy, Patricia, Amanda, Sean, Cranky Pants in the house. Mike Stevens is crying. You rock. You rock. You rock. It was great. I have to be honest with you. For those that actually attended and watched the Alec Murdaugh trial, you know that Mike really, really believed in the good of Alec Murdaugh and just believed he could not do this. And it was, definitely gave us a great great debate. I mean, we did have a lot of good conversations, a lot of great conversations. I actually enjoyed my time watching the Murdaugh trial. It was very fun for me. I mean, it was a learning experience, I think, for all of us, but it was really fun to have that connection with the audience. It was a much smaller group. We kind of were able to be more personable. I think a lot of people, form friendships. We poke fun at Mike and all in good fun. But through the Alec Murdaugh trial, there was no right answers in our chat because it's in the courts and the jury's hands. There's no real right answer. So even with me being guilty, it was a coin toss. I mean, this was a very complex case. And while I was understanding the majority of it, I mean, it did get a little confusing at times. There were times that we were wondering, were we at the trial of the financial crimes or at a murder trial? And but there was a lot of stuff that came out, and everybody's like, they didn't prove their case. Well, clearly they did. The state did, because the jury, first of all, as complex as this was, and as soon as they came back with a verdict, that was not good. We talked about that, about how the length of verdicts are. If they come back fairly quickly, it's never good for the defense. And in this case, it proves to be correct, because this case went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. To go through all of this information and digest it when you don't really have a consensus of the jury would take a much longer time. I've experienced where jurors actually send a note to the judge and say, we'd like to ask questions. And, it's up to the judge's discretion whether he allows that or not. And in some cases, he may say, well, what's the question I'll ask? And sometimes they'll bring the whole jury out and ask the question or listen to what the jury says. I've seen that too. It really depends on where you're at. But I feel bad for the family. I do. I feel bad for everybody involved that was a victim of Alec Murdaugh. I feel bad, quite frankly, that he allowed himself to get to this point to do something like this. And I actually feel bad for him that he went from this amazing life to a jail. It makes you wonder, what was he thinking? And was it all worth it? I'm sure that he sobered up a little bit and he looks at all the mistakes he made. I'm sure he would have made a much different decisions. But the problem is the decision he made so permanent. There's no coming back from it. And he's got to live with that the rest of his life. But what the state did is, I think they proved beyond a reasonable doubt, not necessarily that he did it, but that nobody else could have. I think that was really the strong suit of the state is that, you know, they didn't have to prove he held the gun in his hand. They didn't have to have a picture or a video showing him killing his wife and son. I think it was proving that there was no possibility of anybody else. Like, Maggie was not even supposed to be there. So who would have known she was there? Who would have known that they were at the kennels as opposed to the house that time of night? Who would have known that they were going to have guns on the property that they could pick up and use? I mean, these are all elements that just a person that doesn't know the family and specifically Maggie, because again, Maggie was not supposed to be there. She was called home. Why? On the day that his whole financial crimes, I mean, that the law firm now realized the day that they were killed was the day the law firm realized that Alec had been stealing from him. So we're going to go over more of that, but let me just get through here. Sorry for the tangent. Suzanne, nice to see you. Elfig, Angie. Oh, we got Angie Gibson, Angie B. Roberts girl, nice to see you. I think I said good morning to you, ZA, but if not, good morning, Emma. Pen 1010 in the house. I've been shafted. Mike says. I gotta tell you, that's what kept it going. That's what kept the chat fun. I think if we were all on the, you know, I believe he's guilty, I don't think the chat would have been as fun. I'm sorry, I just don't. I think Mike brought a great perspective and kept the chat interesting. It kept the chat fun. I mean, to be honest with you, it was good. It was good. They got rid of the egg lady. She voted innocent. Actually, she wasn't even she was an alternate. She wasn't even part of the I was listening to the news about this because I missed that. And so I was listening to the news this morning. I don't really watch TV, but you know, I'm in a hotel and it's not like the house. I can't just, you know, do my normal stuff. So I've got to find something to do. And so I slept with the TV on last night. And so this morning I was waking up to them talking about the Alec Murdaugh trial. And they said that they had to remove an alternate. So it sounds like it was an alternate. It wasn't actually it was one of the alternates. Wasn't I guess they had two alternates left. I'm presuming because they removed one person and there was still another alternate left in that back room because they had to bring her out to the gallery, to the audience yesterday. We watched that live. So I don't know, but I believe it was an alternate. But still, I can't believe she said that. How rude. I mean, that's just so, you don't talk to a judge like that. You just don't. I mean, I would never. But you know, in all fairness, she did not follow instruction. That he clearly stated over and over again before them leaving, you know, don't talk to anybody about this. Don't talk to anybody. Don't watch any news. I mean, this is an honor system whenever you're doing the trials and stuff. You know, they have to trust you. They trust you not only that, but not to be influenced. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You're talking to somebody and having a conversation that may influence your decision process. So, Pure Country, Tammy, Nani, ZZT is in the house. Good morning. Who else do we have? Do we have anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Dina, nice to see you. Llama Mama, Little Mama. Sorry, I haven't seen Llama Mama yet. Llama Mama in the house. JLB 32. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I think that's it. Well, no, I see Oracle and Elaine. Everybody else, if I missed you, Sheila, nice to see you. Christina, nice to see you. If I missed you this morning, good morning to everybody else. Everybody else. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and then we're just going to go right over here real quick. Because I wanted you, is this it? I wanted you guys to see this. I wanted to lighten the mood a little bit. This is hilarious. Now, you know what? This day and age, This day and age, finding a man that is, courteous and not only that, willing to suck up manhood for their love of their life. This is a great display where it appears that the girlfriend's feet hurt. And so, boyfriend or husband, you can't tell which they are, but we'll presume maybe boyfriend, um, taking the girls' shoes and giving the girls theirs. So kudos to all those wonderful men out there that do great things for the people that they care about and love. I don't know of any straight man willing to put on heels and walk around town because my foot hurt. But God bless the men that do. God bless the men that do, right? So we got some updates on information. I don't know why every time I start laughing, my eyes start watering, but maybe it's just I'm having too much fun this early in the morning. Good morning, Allie. I see you. Soli? I don't know how to pronounce that. My pronunciation sucks, but good morning, May. So I believe Alex thought he'd found guilty or hung jury, then get 10 or 15 years for the other stuff. Yeah, no, this was, I really did have confidence in the justice system. I looked at this, I looked at all the elements necessary in this case, and it really did seem procedurally that the state did go into great detail to explain motive, means, and opportunity to the jury. And again, with Alec going on the trial, that was kind of a signaling point that told me that even the defense doesn't think he's going to fare very well. And it was more of a Hail Mary, a last-ditch effort to try to bring the jury. He knew that he conned and was conniving to so many people throughout his life, in my opinion, that I believe, again, in my opinion, that he thought he would be able to do that with this jury. But the problem is he had already been painted as this horrible liar, conner, manipulator, and thief, that they had to weigh very heavily on that when listening to what Alex said. And again, people don't like feeling duped. And when you hear person after person, from best friend to law firm people to friends to other people you knew, colleagues and acquaintances and stuff like that, and then you hear about the client and you realize literally every single person Alec knew in his entire life, he lied to. I have not found one person that went on that stand that told us Alec was truthful. They thought he was until all of this, and then they realized how suckered they were. So it wasn't good. It wasn't good. We got some new details coming out in the JonBenet Ramsey case, and we are going to be going over a little bit the Brian Kohberger case. I've got some updated documents. As we know, documents are finally starting to make its way out onto into the public, into the media. And so I'm keeping a close eye on that and checking that regularly as much as I can. So we have some updated information on that we're going to go over this morning. And I think that's just it. That's probably going to cover everything that I have time for today. Again, this is not going to go to 8:30 because I've got to be out of here. I have to be somewhere at 9, and it's in DC, which is a half an hour away. So I really do not have a whole lot of time to spend with you. Not the normal time, but we have a good portion of time that we can sit and chit chat together. So anyways, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Let me kill this. Well, let me see. Let me go ahead and get back to, there we go. Let me get back to this side real quick so you guys can see it. And here's the stuff for the JonBenet Ramsey. You guys can't hear it. I'll have to get back to that. I forgot you guys can't hear it on the way it is right now. But this is, I got 2 of them up for the same thing. Crap. Damn. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm missing something. I'm missing something. Hold on a second, and I don't want to. I had 4 of them. I don't understand why there's 2. Okay, this is not the one. Oh, that's the funny one now. What's this one? I think this is the one I'm missing. No, that's not the one I'm missing. Okay, maybe this one. Dad burn it. I thought there was something else. We may have to go over to Reddit, Reddit and pull them, because I thought I grabbed something else and I didn't. So give me a second. Let me pull up Reddit. Crap, that sucks. Now I don't remember what it was that I was looking at this morning. Did I burn it? Oh, well. So what we'll do is we're just going to go over. Dad burn it. Okay. Sorry, guys. I screwed up something here. So let me pull this down. We're just going to go over the Brian Kohberger new stuff in just a second. Let me pull this up. Okay, there we go. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, there we go. Let me pull this up and then I'll move this over. All right, so this is just a little thing I saw, but here we go. Property, and this came from the FBI. One of the people, and now you guys know that I personally reached out and did a records request with the FBI, and they denied my request. Multiple requests I made, and they denied every one of them. I think I got like 3 or 4 letters at the house. So that means I did like 3 or 4 record requests with the FBI. This is the receipt for property for Lambsdon's. We saw some of the stuff that came out yesterday and read into the record. The secret meeting about Ann Taylor's potential conflict of interest, which everybody agreed was not a conflict of interest. Now, this is really hard to read, but the good news is somebody also typed this up. So we're going to read what we can read on here. And then we'll go over to the typed document. So the very first thing that is scary is number 1. They took in a knife. Right there. A knife. They didn't describe the knife. They just took in a knife. Book with underlining on page 118. We're going to talk about that book. AT&T bill for Brian Kohberger, a Glock 22, Gen 5 40 caliber. So he actually had, or somebody in that house actually had access to a gun. A Smith & Wesson pocket knife. See, they had a pocket knife on there, but they just listed knife at number 1. And then they talk about the Smith & Wesson pocket knife. So they were describing that one, but they didn't describe the knife number 1. What else do they have? They have a folder. I can't read what it says. A folder, something, paperwork, Acer laptop. I can't read some of this stuff. Let's see if we can go over to the written one, because this is going to be, oops, no. Hold on. Let's see if we got, here we go. It was typed out. A knife, a book with underlining on page 118, AT&T bill for Brian Kohberger, a Glock 22 Gen S 40 caliber, a Smith & Wesson pocket knife, a folder containing vehicle paperwork. There, that's what I couldn't read. Acer laptop, green leafy substance in green container. Does that sound like marijuana? A green leafy substance in a green container. Do we have a hophead? Documents, green leafy substance in plastic bag. Sounds like marijuana. White paper with password, power cord, cell phone, 3 Glock 40 caliber magazines empty. Vooks. I don't know what Vooks is. VOOKS. Black face mask. Holy crap. Prescriptions. Black glove. 1 black hat, 1 black mask. Personal identification or identifying documents. New Balance shoes. Dark colored jacket. Dark jackets. Dark colored shirts. Dark colored pants. Clear plastic gloves. Laptop with damage. Interesting. Did he try to dispose of some evidence? Record of sale of a Glock 22 40 caliber. Item photographed but not taken. Note in desk. Criminal psychology book. Documents. An extra large Columbia Navy fleece. A woman or a man's hand drawing. 10 curls inside glove box. What? 10 curls? What is 10 curls inside glove box, inside box? 10 curls. I wonder what that is. Various criminology books, notes, license card, dark colored hat, black gloves. A motherboard. Washington State University paperwork. Note from Brian from Montana. I wonder what that is. Medical documents, court documents. Note to dad from Brian. Ooh, I wonder what that says. Colored spiral notebook. Dark colored clothes. HP all-in-one computer, dark clothes in laundry basket. Tailor cutlery knife with leather sheath. Interesting. 4, I don't know if they do them buccal. We heard that they're buckle. With the testimony from the Alec Murdaugh trial, they even said, what's the difference with buccal was buckle. 2 pair of dark colored boots, 1 pair of brown boots. From previous unsealed warrant was the 1 silver flashlight, the 4 medical gloves that we went over. This stuff here we went over yesterday morning. Let's make sure. Let's see if there's any other information we can garner from this. Why is this not? It says medical documents. It doesn't look like that one is all inclusive though. Personal documents. Dark colored jeans. So here's all the dark colored stuff. Clear plastic gloves. Criminology book. Extra large Columbia. Yeah, we got that. Looks like it has medical documents on here. Court documents. Craftsman shop vac. Note from Brian to they didn't have the Craftsman shop vac on that. They didn't have medical documents on that. They didn't have court documents on that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that they left out on that typed up sheet, unless I just forgot to download a page of it, which is possible. Note to dad from Brian. It looks like a maroon colored spiral notebook. Dark colored clothes. All-in-one computer. 11-0. There's something, I see 11-0 on there. Looks like a desktop computer. Dark items and laundry basket. A Taylor cutlery. knife with leather sheath, 2 pairs of dark colored boots, 1 pair of brown, 4, nothing follows. Okay, so, and then here, here's something from the 2015 Hyundai Elantra, and then I'll get to you. I can't see any of your comments at the moment. So it says swabs, Ziploc bags with pink zipper, I think is what it says. 7 9-quart plastic baggies with green zipper. 36, I don't even know what that is. 36. Oh, 36 dimes, 32 nickels, 8 pennies, gloves, receipts, car insurance, car registration, hiking boots. I think that hiking boots, this is the first time I'm seeing it, but remember, whenever he left, he went, to an area. Remember when we were reading we may have to read the Brett Payne affidavit again, but they were talking about how he went somewhere and turned off his phone. He went to the house at 9:00 in the morning to 1122 King Road. And then he went somewhere and his phone was out of service or out of range or turned off. We'll have to read that just to be on the safe side. He has a comfort end room key holder and stay information, tire iron, shovel. Ooh, shovel. That's interesting too, because we potentially are missing a knife. And this is in his car. So he has hiking boots and shovels, goggles, floor mats, reflective vest, used water bottle, a wrench, a door panel. Door panel? What? Seats and seat cushions, headrest, seat belt, visor, fiber. I wonder what fiber is. Brake pedal. Okay, so maybe the whole door panel. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's the panel on the door, because it does look like they're just identifying everything in the car. Fiber, brake pedal, gas pedal, phone charger, Band-Aid, wrappers, maps, documents, seat belt boot. And remember, that seatbelt boot's going to be interesting because, in all fairness, let me just make sure okay. I think we're done with this. Let me move back over. In all fairness, think about it. In the Alec Murdaugh trial, what did they do? They took that whole apparatus, the whole thing, like even the buckle on the seat. They took that all out and tested that entire thing for DNA. And believe it or not, Maggie's DNA had droplets on some portion of that seat buckle. So they're going to be tearing this car apart. They've probably already have tore his car apart and literally checked everything. That's what they say. It's like, you remember how Adventurers with Purpose used to say, or probably still does, if we haven't checked it, it hasn't been searched, right? And that's kind of the way I feel with these FBI stuff. You can clean that car as much as you want, but you're never going to get it clean, because the FBI, they have people that will take the flipping doors off. You're never going to get your car that clean, So, the wiping down, that's only, you just don't, your body moves. We don't realize this, but our bodies move. And I'm a great example with my vape. I do things and I forget them and I lose them all the time, right? Because my body does mechanical things without my knowledge. I think it's instinctual. It's almost instinctive. Instinct. I can't remember the word I'm trying to use, but it's something that goes along with instinct. But it's like, you have a ball flying at your face. Your natural reaction is to duck or grab it with your hands. You're not thinking about that. Your body is doing that instinctuously or instinctually. Well, I can't even pronounce it. I'm not going to try this morning. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try. So, but I do take issue with it. Let me see if I got the Brett Payne affidavit still up. I remember. There it is. There it is. Let's see if we can. Okay, we got the Brett Payne affidavit up. So let me just read and see if there's any. Did I see Justice for All in here? Moonlight Magic. I see Moonlight Magic. Well, good morning, Justice for All. How are you doing, my love? I hope everything's going well. I'm in DC. I'm exhausted being in DC. I got to be honest with you. Good morning. Sorry I was late driving kids. That's okay, Mary. You can be late. You can be late. We went over some stuff, but most of it's just been talking about the Alec Murdaugh trial. We haven't even got into JonBenet Ramsey yet, but we are over to the Idaho 4. We're starting to get some information released about some of the evidence that was collected from, well, we got information already from his apartment. We know that there were sheets with bloodstains or a red-like substance on it, right? So I can't say bloodstains because the only people that can determine if those are bloodstains is probably the lab. So we're not getting the lab paperwork back, and they're not saying anything whether that blood is identified to any victim or not just yet. But it looks like that there are some stuff being released, especially in Pennsylvania. They are releasing that stuff. They're following their state law. And their state law, you know, they hold that stuff back for 60 days. Well, now the 60 days is up. Now they're starting to release the information that they have collected in Pennsylvania from the house and the car. And a couple things that are flags to me are the hiking boots and the shovel. I'm very concerned about that. You guys know how much I travel. I do have boots in my car. I carry boots in my car all the time along with my wading gear. So that doesn't bother me too much. The shovel, on the other hand, you guys know the work I do. I should have a shovel in my car. I do not. He's a freaking criminology major. What does he need? Instinctive. Thank you. Lori Lowe. Lord have mercy. Thank you. I hate when I get tongue tied and then my brain goes blank. It's so rough. It sucks. It sucks. So instinctive. Thank you, Lori Lowe. God bless you. God bless you for helping me out. But we do these things. Getting back to this, the shovel. He's a criminology major. I'm in true crime and I don't have a shovel in my car yet. We've dug ground before, right? I met. Oh Lord, I haven't even talked to her in a while. Tammy. Her name was Tammy. She might be in here. Might be one of the Tammys I talked to in here. Her and I went out with her sister, and we found a spot, you know, out there in I can't remember. It wasn't Rogersville. It was the town over. It's the one that, anyways, it was by the Tri-City airports, and there was a lump on the ground, and it had a rock dead in the middle of it. It freaked me out because, you know, I'm following this map that Snow sponsored that trip, and I'm following this because Donna, Reverend Donna, had some visions and stuff like that. So I figured, you know, they really wanted me to go out there and check, so I did, and so I was doing my videotape. And, you know, I always start recording when I get out of my car. You see me walking up to the area and I'm walking around. I'm like, you know, this doesn't look like anything, but I just kept walking. And then there was this like huge pile of sticks and stuff. So I'm looking at that. I'm like thinking, this is a great place to hide something. I mean, it's a mountain. And I walk around there. And then there's this pile of red clay dirt, but right in the middle of it is a rock. And, you know, when you're watching those old Western movies, you know, they didn't really have funerals back then. And what do? They dug a hole, and what was one of the last things they did is they stuck a rock in the middle of the freaking mound. So it freaked me out. I'm literally freaking out. And so I wasn't going to call law enforcement. And then I'm like, you know, so I was leaving, I was praying, and I actually stopped by Hunter's house, and I spoke to Grandma. I didn't record it or anything like that. I was trying to find Allie just to say hi and see if there was anything new or, you know, what's going on and how things are going. And Grandma told me, and I was telling her, I'm like, look, I said, I said, it freaked me out. And she's like, you probably need to call the law. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to. She's like, yeah, but that's their job. And so it was funny because it was Sherry's mom. Allie's mom. Actually, was Sherry's mom, because Sherry is Allie's mom. But it was Allie's grandma that told me, you might want to just go back there and call law enforcement. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, if I leave it and it's something, I'm going to kick myself forever because I was right there. But if it's nothing, then I'm going to feel bad for utilizing, resources that need to be used on finding her. So I had to weigh the pros and the cons of it. And there was just no way that, it freaked me out. So there's no way I could not call law enforcement. And I was very honest with them. I'm like, look, I'm here. I found this. I said, it may be nothing, and I understand that, but I just, in my heart of hearts, I just could not call you guys. And you can tell they've had quite a few calls. They didn't really do anything with it. They damn sure didn't dig it up to check it. I don't know if they brought dogs out there to sniff it. I don't know. So Sherry, Tammy and I met out there with her sister, and she brought a shovel, and we dug that thing out. Well, I shouldn't say we did. She did. She's a trooper. I don't know how she had the energy, but she got it. She got it done. It was nothing. It was a bunch of rocks under there. We didn't dig down too hard because she had a smaller shovel. She had one of those foldable shovels where we should have probably used a full-size shovel to get through some of the rock, but we couldn't get. I mean, there was like a whole layer of rock there. So I don't know. I think it might have been a dog or something like that. I just don't know. But either way, we do stuff like that. But what is Brian Kohberger doing with a shovel in his car? He's a freaking criminology major, not a YouTuber, covering true crime. Right? Only us do crazy stuff like that. So it comes back to, maybe some of the information, maybe they'll be able to find out where he was, or if he used that in the dirt, or, maybe they can do some testing to find out where the dirt came from. I mean, we've heard that before. I mean, I've watched a lot of stuff. I mean, they're very clever when it comes to trying to find evidence and things of that nature for these cases. So I wonder what the law enforcement is going to do, but I have a problem with the shovel. Let's read that Brett Payne affidavit. Let me go ahead and pull this back up. So I'm not really interested in all of this. Let's see, where does it go? Okay, we're still not there yet. Here, I think this is where we get it. Okay, at approximately 5:25 a.m., the white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the suspect vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, on the Wazoo campus. First camera recorded the sedan at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. The white sedan was observed traveling north. The white launcher was observed traveling. I'm still trying to find the information here. Was asked law enforcement agencies to look out. Let me see. Let me make sure I didn't miss something. Hold on, guys. Yeah, that's 8-9. Okay, so that's when he got there, and he took his long way around. Law enforcement officers provided footage, utilized surveillance, identified the year, make, and model of the car, blah, 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 after reviewing and observing. Okay, that's fine. At approximately 2:50. Okay, we're getting close. It's kind of jumping around. Now it's at 5:25 a.m. Okay, oh, that's right. That's when, okay, so at approximately 5:25 a.m., the white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the suspect's vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington. The white sedan was observed traveling those places. The white sedan was observed turning on North Bishop Boulevard Northwest. And I know you can't really see it because the picture's dark, but I'm going to end up plugging these locations in so we can put it up on the big screen and see what direction he was traveling, where he was going. At approximately 5:25, the white launcher was observed on cameras traveling blah, 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 blah. Now what's going on? On the same day, at approximately 12:58, was looking for the white Honda. That's not it. We need to get back to the 13th. I could have sworn they talk about where he goes. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. I don't know where it it is. So you're going to have to bear with me. Here, I think this is it. At approximately 5:30 a.m., Horn is utilizing resources that provide coverage in Pullman, Washington, and is consistent with the phone traveling back to Kohberger's residence. Okay, that's at 5:25. So investigators found the phone did connect to a cell phone tower that provided service to Mascow on November 14th. Based on the training experience, the fact of investigators so far, they believe Kohberger, the user of this phone, was likely driving the white launcher that's observed departing Pullman, and the vehicle likely suspect vehicle 1. Additionally, the route traveled the early mornings of the 13th and lack of phone responding from 2:47 to 4:48. And we heard that. I mean, even Alec Murdaugh tried to keep his phone in the house, so it didn't tip people off, but that's not it. I could have sworn sorry guys, I'm just reading through here. But I could have sworn we read something where he was, I'll have to go through this a little bit more. Let me get back over to you guys. I'll have to go over this a little bit more, but I could have sworn there was something that they said where he left the next day. I'll have to read it thoroughly and highlight it. And that he went to, or maybe it was the 13th, it was the early morning. I can't remember exactly. My details are a little fuzzy, but I believe that it is possible that when we were reading it, he stopped somewhere. And he was out, like his phone had turned back on, remember? And he was going somewhere, and they said he stopped at like a rural area, or I just got jumpers, air machine, tire patch, bottled water, pepper spray with dye, first aid kit, phone cable, screwdriver, tire jack, iron. I could do a lot of damage. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you have to be resourceful. But you know what you don't have in your trunk? I read your entire statement. You don't have a shovel. That shovel's concerning for me. The hiking boots are concerning for me because I know darn well I read in that affidavit. Now, I perused through it. I didn't read it in its entirety, but I promise you I will read it. And we're gonna dovetail back to the shovel because there was a place he stopped. I remember it. I just don't remember where it's in the report. But there's a place that he stopped, and I believe it was like a national forest. Do you guys remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember hearing something like that. I know I heard it. I just need to read it. I have a shovel, but I live in a snow country. Well, I guess he does too. You know, he lives in Pennsylvania, and he was in Washington State University. So in all fairness, but at Washington, I mean, let's think about this. Yeah, okay. So I'm not going crazy here. I mean, we do cover a lot of cases, so it is possible sometimes. Oh, crime stories obsessed. How in the heck are you doing, love? It is nice to see you over here. Oh my gosh, I've been so darn busy. I haven't even had a chance to think. I need to call you. I need to get you on Messenger. I won't be able to do it today. I might be able to do it later today, but your time's off for me, so I don't want to wake you up and stuff. What is it right now over there? Is it like noon for you? If it is, maybe I'll monitor the time because I've got an event at 9, and then after that, I'll be going back over to the convention. Oh, excuse me. I don't know where that came from. I'll be going back over to the convention center. I think it's because I don't have any coffee. My God, this whole thing. I had 1 cup of coffee yesterday, and that was because my friend was walking out of the convention, him and his wife, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dying here. I said, I have no coffee. And he's like, oh, here. He just handed me his coffee. I'm like, God bless you. God bless you, child. And I drank that coffee too. I drank that coffee, slapped down. I was dying. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do today. I need coffee. That's one thing. It's 12:20 here. Oh, okay. Well, then at least I got a good monitor. At least I'm monitoring it well. I know you and JR did timeliness a phone, and yes, forest area stopped at. Yes. Yes. So that's what's concerning me because, again, I mean, we have a lot of things in our car, but typically we don't carry shovels around. And so you have the hiking boots and the shovel. That's concerning for me because what are we missing? We're missing a knife, but are we? Are we? We had like 2 or 3 different knives listed on that evidence report. That would be crazy if they found the murder weapon. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They lied to us about everything else. Why not about the murder weapon? Right? Might be a thought. Oh, thank you, honey. Thanks. I love you too. I love you too. So, I'm just sitting here just racking my brain as to what in the world is going on with this whole case, but we are starting to get some stuff coming out, and maybe we'll dive into it a little bit more. Maybe I'll start breaking it up. Maybe I'll start doing some, on the items on that list. Maybe I'll do some videos, and try to bring some information in on those videos. We'll see. We'll see. I definitely don't have time to do videos while I'm here, so it's going to have to wait until I'm home. And by that time, I'm sure more information is going to be coming out. Again, we still have all these media outlets that's suing the judge and the state of Latah County because of violations of their rights, their freedom of press, and the fact that this is a public hearing, and you have less restrictive means besides cutting the entire public out of the case. I get, nobody likes to have to do a change of venue, but this is a worldwide case. Okay, it's inevitable. It's inevitable, and everybody's got to follow the law here. Everybody. So we'll see how that goes. Now I'm going to drop this down because I want to turn the volume on so we can talk about the JonBenet case. And then we're going to do some research. I haven't done the research yet, but you guys are going to do it with me this morning on her case. It's not going to be too involved because, again, I have time constraints this morning, but we are going to touch base on it. I know a lot of you guys, just like me, the JonBenet Ramsey case was one of the largest, most epic cases of our time. This was a beautiful pageant child that was killed inside her own home. And the parents, many people believe that the parents did it, but that's because law enforcement was driving that narrative. And now we're hearing that they had DNA that contradicted that narrative long before they cleared Pat and John Ramsey. The mom, Pat, never died with the world thinking that she did something to her daughter. And I just think that's sad. I think it was 2 years after she died that they finally officially cleared her. And I just think that's disgusting. The Ramseys lost everything. They went from a beautiful life to shells of human beings, and still wanting answers for their daughter, and having the whole world hate them for something that they didn't do. Do you think the media outlets have a real case against the judge? Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I don't think. Yeah, because here, I don't think it's going to. When you have a gag order, it has to be limited in scope. You can't blink. First of all, the gag order is entirely too broad. Entirely too broad, encompasses entirely too much. That's going to be the biggest problem and the biggest hurdle that this judge is going to have to explain to the higher courts. Secondly, the one other thing she's going to have a hard time overcoming is the fact there are less restrictive means than this. And she chose with the most restrictive and most all-encompassing mode, as opposed to less restrictive modes and limited in scope and nature. So I don't think it's going to pass legal muster. At the higher courts, I think it's going to be, it's not, they have to look at the law. This judge, and this is the problem with counties and cities. They don't care, and I think that's disgusting. If you're in the law, you have to represent, you have a duty to the people, you have the duty to the clients, you have the duty to the defendant, but you have to follow the law as well. But they do things to skirt the law, or not in the spirit of the law, because they know somebody's going to have to legally challenge it, i.e. they're going to have to pony up money to take them on. And so they don't care. And these are the problems that I have. This is exactly what you saw in Chatham County. Exactly what you saw in Chatham County. If we were going to be a pimple on the butt of them, they were going to make us pay financially. That was it. And you know what? If it was challenged, they would end up paying our attorney bills. And I have tried to be nice to Chatham County. I really have, but they have violated my rights, civil rights, my constitutional rights, and I have every right to sue them right now for that assault on my rights. And I would be successful in that. And you guys know I know the law. I mean, if I have not, after a year and a half, showed you guys that I know the law, I know how it works, I don't know what I can do. Do I get things 100% right? Nobody does. Not even the lawyers that make the big bucks. So I do have a case. I know that without a doubt. I have a case. But the problem is how much it's going to cost me to take this case on. That's the question. And that's sick that I can get my rights violated and I have to pony up a crap ton of money to take cities or counties on, which I will do. I will find a way. I just trying to weigh the pros and cons, whether the money is worth it for this one. But you know what? To me, principle is worth it. Principle is worth it. And I would love nothing more than to smack Chatham County around in a lawful way. I already did it once. Is this it? This is it. Okay, let me pull this up. Okay. So I wanted you guys to see this.
Breaking news in the JonBenet Ramsey case. Unearthed DNA evidence under JonBenet's fingernails and on her clothing was released this past week, and it turns out it is not a match for any of her immediate family members, nor is it a match for any relatives or friends around the crime site weeks after it happened. John Anderson, who is currently writing a book in regards to the JonBenet Ramsey case, has said that the detective on the case did not receive the DNA evidence until 3 weeks after it was taken, and then he did not give it to prosecutors until months later. The Boulder police spent many years with the parents John and Pat Ramsey under suspicion despite these DNA findings. You may recall last July I reported that John Ramsey was willing to take legal action against the Colorado Police Department if they did not allow him to retest his daughter's DNA in an independent lab. This independent lab is more in line with new genetic genealogy testing. This past November, JonBenet's 26-year-old cold case was reopened for a new investigation. I will keep you guys in the loop with more news updates on this.
So there you have it. I thought that was interesting. You know, I'm always monitoring the JonBenet Ramsey case because we've covered it a couple times. We covered it a couple times because we were discussing the DNA evidence. And as a matter of fact, if you recall, Kitty came up here and chatted with me for a little bit about that case. I didn't call him that then. I probably shouldn't call him that now, because I haven't heard from him, so I might as well let sleeping dogs sleep, right? But who knows? I haven't been monitoring his account, nor do I monitor any other hate accounts because I don't have time. Only they have time to be hateful. I don't. But I guess that was a hateful statement if you want to look at it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to look at any kind of news articles that we may have coming up for the JonBenet Ramsey case. Give me just a second. See if there's any news. So here we go. Infamous house in Boulder back on the market. Wow. So the house, JonBenet Ramsey's house, is back on the market for those that would like to see that. So we don't really, nothing. I'm surprised that they don't really have anything like the news. This was a sensational news piece and nothing. So I will start. I'm going to put it on the list. I don't even have my folder here. I'm going to put it on the list to request some public records from Boulder, Colorado. But what we do know is that at least the case is reopened. You know, the parents, the DNA is showing that the parents didn't have anything to do with it. And you know what's really upsetting to me is that it's showing that law enforcement didn't want to listen to it, didn't want to look at it, would have preferred telling the whole entire world that it was the parents because they didn't want to do their job. That's an embarrassment. That is an embarrassment. for you to know, hey, Mike, nice to see you. For you to know that and have DNA under a child's nails. Under a child's nails. It doesn't match the family. It doesn't match the friends. It does make you question. Absolutely, Amy. But this is, people are in jail for crimes they didn't commit. Nowadays, we have higher standards. Like even with Alec Murdaugh, we put a high standard on the state. And while there's a few people that don't believe that they proved their case, I do. And I've stated that because they had all of the elements necessary to prove their case. What they did is they didn't necessarily prove that Alec was holding the gun in his hand. What they proved is nobody else could have been. I think that's what sunk Alex. It's beyond a reasonable. Nobody else could have. Because if somebody else could have, they would have had to have been psychic. In all reality. And I think that's what they proved. They were stuck on mom and dad and brother. Even the DNA matches no one in the family. Yes. And put this family through, like they're going through all of this stuff and they're putting it through. And naturally, I remember this case. This is before I was still I loved forensic and stuff like that. I was still a crime. I just didn't realize there was a name for it, but I was a crime junkie, a true crime junkie, even at a young age. And I remember this case, but naturally I'm listening to everything that's being said online or on the news. They didn't even have online back then. This was all done through the news. And everybody was painting it as the parents did it, and as naive as I was, not looking at the facts, not listening to anything else, naturally, I thought the parents were responsible for this case. I always thought the parents were responsible for this case until I got into true crime and started looking into this case and true crime on YouTube, I should say, because I've been in true crime for a really long time, but on YouTube. And I started looking into this case and I realized, wait a minute, something doesn't add up here. And then you had that one detective that showed how somebody could get into the, so I could talk into, where was I? I'm sorry, this thing. Oh, okay. So anyways, sorry, my phone's going off, but this officer went in there and showed how somebody could sneak in the house. There was grates, like storm grates on the outside of the house. And you could kind of go under that and into the basement and in through the window that was open that had the, like a step there. And that was all taken out of context by police to the public. And it was poor policing and it was a stain on that police department, but they should have just owned it. Look at Grady Judd, think about, he had an officer, a volunteer officer that was slinging drugs out of the patrol car, had been an officer for 14 years. He went up there and slammed him just like he does everybody else. And that was his own officer. There was a lady in his department that was fraudulently stating that she had interaction with families when she was doing welfare checks for the children and stuff like that. She committed crimes because she fraudulently tested, under oath, put these statements in reports that she did not do, and he slammed her in public just like everybody else. He owns his mistakes, even if it's his mistakes from his officers. He takes responsibility for that. That's why we love Grady Judd. We know when he speaks, he's transparent. He's truthful because he's truthful even when it makes him look bad or makes his department look bad. And it really doesn't, because he's so open. It's like, well, great job. I'm glad you caught the bad guy in your department. It took a little while, but he doesn't care about how we feel about it. He just is honest. And I wish that we had that from the Boulder police, where they say, look, you're right. We made terrible mistakes. We made terrible mistakes in this case up front, but let's right the wrong because this child deserves justice. We haven't heard any of that from Boulder, Colorado. We haven't heard any of that. We haven't heard any of that from the governor's office. We haven't heard squat. And it's a shame. And shame on them. Shame on them because this child deserves justice. This child deserves that. Not only that, but her parents deserve true vindication. They deserve true vindication. And that's something that they'll never get until Boulder, Colorado starts doing their job. Period. So, you know what? This might be something that we as a group collectively can help. I'm going to start figuring out how we want to address this. But I think we're going to have to start emailing and writing letters. I think it's time for us to kick up a fuss with the governor's office, with the Boulder, Colorado Police Department, with the state police. We don't want to be rude, but we want to say enough's enough. You have to do better. You need to be transparent. It's time for you to step up to the plate and take responsibility as to why this case has not been solved all these years. That's what we're going to have to do. We want it coming from a place of love, but we want them to know that we're tired, that it's time to help this family, the family that they have failed for over a quarter of a century. I think we can do good. So I'm going to process this today. I'm going to figure it all out and see how we would love to move forward with JonBenet. But I think we can provide a little pressure in a loving way. And I'd like to nudge that in the right direction. So I'm going to figure out what we can do. Maybe we'll play with some of the stuff. I'll put the language up here in the chat, and we can all as a group work on it to make sure that it represents the group as a whole so everybody can get on board with this and mail their letters or cut and paste emails and things of that nature. So we will work on that. I do have JonBenet on the list, and we'll figure out what we can do to help, if anything, right? If anything. But the good news is there's DNA that has not been, there's good news and bad news. And the good news and the bad news is exactly the same, that there's still DNA that has not been processed in the case. And I'm still like, what? Are you kidding me? I digress. Guys, thank you for being with me this morning. You guys know I'm crunched for time. I'm sorry it's only been an hour, but I promise you that later tonight when I wrap up with my day, we will come live again. I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up the Alec Murdaugh stuff here. So what's going to happen is I will try to monitor it and close it down when it's finally over. And this is his sentencing. And I know that everybody that has been here watching this case, you know, that's been interested in this case, this is the ending of this. Well, the ending of this trial. This is the final phase. This is the penalty phase. He has been convicted of these charges, of all charges, as a matter of fact, in record time, by the way. When I heard that the verdict was back, I knew it was going to be in Maggie and Paul's favor. I knew in my heart. And thank God that Paul and Maggie got justice. So sad. And just to think that it's hard to even think, it almost makes me want to cry, to think that Maggie, you know, saw her son, her final, sorry, this does bother me a little bit. But to think that woman, that wonderful lady, which I'm going to call her a wonderful lady because, you know what, so far, I have not heard one person say one mean thing about her. Not one mean thing about her. Excuse me. But to think that her final thought, that her final, you know, sight was seeing her son on that ground and like the attorney said, running toward her baby. putting that in my mind and making that real for me, that was really hard. That was really hard because no mother should ever have to go through that. And to think she was running to aid him all the while she was next. And for that pain, that split second pain for her to go through, to see her son like that. And it's just, he's a heartless man. He deserves everything he gets today. He really, truly does. And so we are definitely going to hopefully see this through today. Hopefully he gets the sentence that he deserves. And I guarantee, this judge, he's not playing. He's not playing. I can tell with the judge's tone. I can tell, he presided over this case fairly. And thank God that he did, because this is going to limit Alec Murdaugh's appeals. And even if he does decide to go through the appeal process, which he will, he's an attorney, that's what they do. They won't be successful. They won't be successful because this judge was so fair at making sure he was on the right side of the law when dealing with the objections, when dealing with the evidence, when dealing with what could come in and what couldn't come in. But he was also not going to be favorite. The problem is that the defense kicked open the door on crucial information that was closed and that would not even have been part of the testimony, and the jury would never have been able to consider had they not made some fatal mistakes in this case. And one of those fatal mistakes was cousin Eddie. He was completely out. That whole roadside incident was not allowed to be talked about in this trial. But once the defense opens that door, it's fair game. It's fair game. So they made a lot of crucial mistakes in this case that allowed a lot more information in than that was already. They were limited even on the financial stuff that they could talk about. But because the defense kicked open the door, they were able to bring it all in. And they did. I don't think, I think Paul was shocked. I don't think he knew what happened. I pray to God he didn't see his father do this to him. That's the only thing I can pray. Maggie did. That's sad. But that got me. I have to be honest. When the Attorney Waters, started talking about her running toward her baby, that was it for me. That broke my heart. That broke my heart. And to think she was her last breath, and listen to this. I also thought about this. And I'm gonna end. This is gonna be my final thing. Yeah, what a monster! Absolutely, sweetie pie. So I'm gonna end with this. This is my final thing that I will end with. Something was said in this trial that made me visualize something a little different. I think, and we heard from Dr. Ken Kinsing that it was 1 in a million that first shot didn't kill Paul. I think Alec thought he killed him. I think the reason why, because we had that animated, let me see if I can put that animated thing up. I've got just a few moments. Let me see what I can do here. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can get the video file. Just bear with me. I'm going to try to get this for you guys. Is this it? Hold on. Let me see if this is it. No, that's not it. I did a video. Let me put this in like. Okay, there's kind. I did a video, but I don't know where it saved it to. Maybe did it save it to the dump file? Let me see if I put it in my dump file. Hold on, guys. I want you guys to see this because I think this is when it dawned on me. Okay, here it is. So let me go ahead and put this in. I'm going to have to mute it. But let's go ahead and pull this up. Hold on, we'll pause it. We'll start it back at the beginning. Pause the banner. Let me move the banner. Remove the banner. Okay. So here's the reenactment of what happened. And I'm going to walk you through this just a little bit because something came to me when this trial was going on that I think clears at least a couple more things up. Because when I heard that Maggie was shot 5 times, that to me sounded like overkill. Like somebody wanted to make sure that she was dead. And there was something that Ken Kinsing said that I think now I realize what happened and why she was shot so many times. So here we got, this is, from my understanding, this should be Paul. It's at 8:48. He's in the feed room doing whatever. Maybe check. So, yeah. So according to this, let me pause this. According to this, he may have seen his father unless his father's head was on. I don't think you guys can see me because this is, but if that, the door, if he was standing on the one side of the door, maybe he didn't see his face. But let's go back just a little bit and see how he was shot. Right there. So the butt of the barrel of the gun is just on the outset of the door, but it looks like it's a straight. So it appears that he would have turned toward. So yeah, he may have seen his father shoot him. And so his father probably thought that would have been a fatal shot, not realizing it just went through his body. It was very painful, but it didn't kill him. And I think Alec, let me went over here thinking he had killed him to pick up the other gun to go kill Maggie. And you see Paul starting to stumble out the door. I don't think he realized, I think he was going to grab the second gun and realized that that shot did not kill Paul. And so when Paul started staggering out, I think it took Alec by surprise as he was leaning down to pick up the other gun. And he's like, oh, crap. And then boom. And now he grabs the other gun. Maggie's probably coming around to find out what happened. Sees her baby laying there because she's coming from all the way over on the other side. Because you see the dog bed. She is probably running toward her baby. She's running toward her baby. He picks up the other gun, gets in position, and look how many times shot. And I think the reason why he shot her so many times is because he thought when he had the very first shot to Paul that it was fatal. And when he realized that the gunshot wasn't fatal, he wanted to make sure he didn't have an incident like that with Maggie. And you remember how he kept the very first responders, are they dead? Are they gone? Are they gone? Are they gone? He was so adamant about getting confirmation from law enforcement that both his wife and son were dead. He could see his son's brains laying next to his leg, but he just needed, you can't survive without a brain, but he just needed law enforcement to make sure he did the job fully. That's my opinion. That's what I believe truly happened. Let's keep going through this. So she's running toward her son. He's holding a gun. She's probably not even thinking anything would happen to him. But now you get to see the direction of the shots. Through the leg, through the abdomen. And then there's the one through the breast and jaw. And there's the gal that did it. Now, she is the same gal that did the reenactment of Brian Kohberger. Remember when they were doing the timeline of him being on the 3rd floor, coming down, going to Xana's, going past Dylan? It's the same girl that did that reenactment that did this one. So anyways, guys, that's all that time I have for today. Thank you all for being here. For the replay crew, God bless you guys. I appreciate you guys watching this on the replay. If you're not getting the notifications, please be sure to unsubscribe, resubscribe, and turn your bell to all. We send out a lot of stuff. I really don't send out a whole lot of junk. All the stuff is videos on us. Occasionally I'll put out a message from me to the audience, but typically my videos that I release are specific to certain topics of a case that we're covering. Obviously the lives, you guys know that the lives are based upon just about anything, related to cases, and any updates, just bringing news to you guys about the cases that we cover. And then I don't remember anything else, but if I think of anything, I will definitely be, but you want to change that bell. You want to turn that bell to all so you get that. Oh yeah. And then my posts are more personable, and my community posts are typically more personable. But as we start advocating, like for JonBenet, that's going to be the place where I put the form letters that you may want to take, or, sample letters that you may want to write, or things of that nature. Those go to the community tab so everybody can get access to them. So just a lot of stuff. So if you guys are very interested in being involved and having an interactive viewer experience, please continue to watch the Bullhorn Betty channel. As we start picking up more cases and as we start diving into more cases, we truly are boots on the ground. And we do bring you guys the information that we find out. And again, I would not be able to do it without each and every one of your support. So I do appreciate it. Right now, I'm sitting in here in Washington, D.C. And while I didn't ask for your support to be here, I knew that I was going to get it while I was here. So God bless each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much. It's been a great opportunity to be here. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed, and I'm very humbled this morning. So have a wonderful day for the rest of the day. Let me get Alec Murdaugh set up so we do not miss the penalty phase of trial. God bless each and every one of you. And until next time, please be.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.